On the plus.
You know why I'm doing that. Wild card weekend.
You know that. I can't jump in the seat.
I got Eugene hyped. I also do that to pay homage to Cam and Jarrell Newton. I mean, put some respect on my guy. I saw it on Charlotte today. Y'all broke the news, kind of. I saw it on Bleacher Report.
Dude, I know. Look. There's a rumor that my man Cam Newton is going to be out here full force and keep pounding drum. And I'm like, dude.
Do you know something, Eugene?
Look, I don't know those people. It's just rumor. But guess what? I'm riding that rumor too, dog. I'm riding that rumor. It would be great.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Would it not be great to see Cam Newton make an appearance here at Bank of America Stadium? He's one of the most prolific quarterbacks that we've had. Indeed, changed the face of quarterbacking in the league, if you will, and did an amazing, superb job of taking this team when he got here in 2011 to a Super Bowl in 2015. I'm just saying, dude, he ain't no joke, man. That dude is the real deal.
I need Cam to come out through the tunnel with the smoke, do the Cam thing, yell out, and beat the drum, man. I need him to do all of that.
So
I need him to do all of that.
The energy here in Uptown is going to be insane.
Yeah.
It's going to be absolutely insane. No matter where you go, people are talking about the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
No matter what, I go to the store. Boom, I'm over there picking up mail. Boom, I run into my mailman. Boom, everybody's talking Carolina Panthers, and that is so great for the city. And that's what happens when you win. And don't forget, we've earned our way to a playoffs, man. We end up winning the division, all right? And so we had to put ourselves in position to go ahead and to earn all this fanfare and this love and this laud that we're receiving right now. I'll take it all day long.
I mean, it's the Panthers. Although we kind of stumbled down the stretch, we still beat the Green Bay Packers, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, back when the Dolphins were hot. We beat the Rams.
Yes.
And so
let's talk about the Seahawks. Let's talk about the Seahawks. And we talked about this ad infinitum. The Seahawks, 17-10, fourth period, 8 minutes to go, third down and 20. We're on defense, and there's a penalty that is one of the most. It is one of the most devastating plays that happened to us because it took the momentum, put it back and swung it back on the side of the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah. They go down and score a touchdown. Yeah. Right? So now it looks like the game was out of reach. It wasn't out of reach. That game was in the balance big time. And we went toe for toe, tit for tat, tat for tit. Whatever you say, you know what I'm trying to say. We went that with one of the best teams in the league who was featured to win the Super Bowl.
Oh, I mean,
dude, I'm telling you, I don't know what y'all thinking, man. Before Carolina Panthers got it going on, man. Y'all sleeping.
Before we get to wild card, I got to give a shout out to the Dirty Birds, man. They really, I gotta. Had to do the Dirty Bird. One time for the one.
Hey, Bijan and crew, look, I'm a big fan. They rose up and they won a huge game. And don't forget, that game was in the balance too, because you would never think that Tyler Shuck would have a chance to go ahead, throw a touchdown, and have within the end of that game, to have a meaningful play to get the ball back, to kick a field goal.
That Shanks, they found their starting quarterback for the future.
Oh yeah, Tyler Shuck is their guy.
He's the real deal.
He's the real deal. He's their guy.
Enough about those teams that didn't make the playoffs.
All right,
let's talk about the teams that make the playoffs, including Carolina Panthers. Your 2025 NFC South Division champions. All right, so we have the home game, Eugene. I want to ask, last matchup. Look, I want to read off some stats because I got some stats. I did some research.
Okay,
I do
here
my
we
research
go.
from time to time. Chuba Hubbard ran it for 17 times for 83 yards.
Yep.
That was kind of his comeback game.
Comeback game.
Rico Daddle, 54 yards. Bryce, 23 yards and some big scrambles. We got to get back to that because we've lost that as far as the running game. We have. I don't know if you know that, but
absolutely.
We've lost that. We got to get back to that.
We've lost that because teams have been getting into an 8-man front and saying we're going to stop your run. How do you stop a run typically in an 8-man front? Is that I can take away every gap. I can split and take away every gap and make the running back have to make decisions in the backfield where he's not going to the line of scrimmage because there's a guy in his gap. And so from that standpoint, when you go 8-man front, what do you have to do? You have to either do some screens, you have to do some play actions to alleviate that pressure, to loosen it up, to get you back into a much more of a 7-man, 6-man front. That's what you want to go ahead and do. But teams are saying, hey, They know that our running game is dangerous, the rushing game is dangerous, so they're going to put everybody up in the box and say, hey, Bryce, we don't think you can beat us. We don't think you can beat us. You can't beat us.
I think Bryce is capable of beating a team because he did it
already.
He threw guys open.
Yes.
And I think one thing that we learned about Bryce, he excels when he extends the play. He's a very a nifty guy outside. I didn't expect that from Bryce.
I think we're sleeping on his skill level because I'm telling you, the fact that he can run the rock, he can run the ball extremely well, but he chooses to sit back there and do exactly what Russell Wilson will do. Sit back there, survey before he has to get out of Dodge, right? That's what Bryce kind of reminds me of, that little patience, and he's looking to throw the ball and beat you with his arm. But make no mistake about it, that dude can run the rock, dude. That dude is one of he's one of the secret weapons because he can run the ball. And no doubt, but I'll tell you what, this game, as I look at it, you want to be able to control the offense of the Rams by not letting them on the field all day long. Because Stafford ain't no doubt. He ain't no joke. They got a running game. They got 2 running backs they can hurt you with. They got, we don't want to talk about Nakua, and he got like 129 catches, man.
I mean, I remember last game, it was so easy for that offense to go up and down the field. And the big difference was guys like Derek Brown. That defensive line, we didn't send any blitz that game. I didn't see hardly any blitz that game. That was all those 4 guys lined up in the front. And Derek Brown with the pat down and the interception, the fumble recovery. I forgot who got the fumble. Who got the fumble recovery? It was
DJ Wanham got the recovery, but Derek Brown was the instigator because he had a strip sack.
How do we duplicate that? Because is that sustainable?
Absolutely. It is sustainable because you've already done it. So it's not like something that's out of the ordinary. It'd be different if I didn't do it and say like this, oh, man, I wonder if we can go ahead and get to him with a 4-man rush. Well, you've already done it. So that means you switch up and do some games? Does that mean you mug up in the A gaps and B gaps with the linebackers, and then what you do is you pull them out? So now, even as the offensive line make their count, and there's 6-7 guys up there, and they count, and you pull 2 guys out, and now some guy doesn't have a guy, and that one guy has a one-on-one thing, and Derek Brown beats a guy. So you got all that's kind of going on. I thought Coach Ajero did a great job of putting people up in the box and pulling them out. Sending cats on the edge, and then pulling them out. I mean, you got to be really, for this team and for that quarterback, you got to be on point because Stafford has a quarterback rating of 109. He has so 65%, maybe 65, 66% completion percentage. I want to say maybe 47 touchdowns. Only maybe 10 to 8 interceptions.
It's something.
And 2 were in our game.
It's something. I mean, the
dude's incredible.
He went back in the time machine, and now he's 23 years old.
The dude is incredible. Make no mistake about it. We know how good they are. But let me just say this too with you. The interceptions that we got, most people will say, well, you know, the quarterback threw 2 interceptions. No, he didn't. He didn't throw 2 interceptions. Those interceptions were earned. That was earned by Mike Jack having great coverage. On Nakua. It was earned that you had Derek Brown in the face, putting the big paws up, getting a deflection, and now Scott gets the rock. So it always bugs me when they say a quarterback threw an interception. I'm like, you act like the guys on defense ain't working. Because they were working on defense. And so from that standpoint, I think as the Carolina Panthers, you're playing with house money. You throw caution to the wind. You go in here. I don't care I care what plays I do, but look, if I do something a little bit exotic, trying to do something a little bit more aggressive, so what? I'm not supposed to win anyway. That's what you said.
I would like to see, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, or correct me if you have a different perspective on this, rather. I would like to see Trayvon Moore come off the edge on that blitz. I think he's really effective when he comes off on that blitz. Man.
I think Coach Ajero has used him really well because Moore, what he reminds me of is like a little bit like Troy Polamalu. He's back here in cover 2. Now he's down there in linebacker depth. Oh, he's on the edge. Oh, he's blitzing off the edge. Oh, no, he's not blitzing. He's dropping back in coverage. Having that, you know, where you don't know, Leroy Butler, we used to use him that way for the Green Bay Packers. We use with Leroy Butler, like the uncanny insaneness of it, and the fact that that person can make plays is huge.
And it took him a while to get his footing.
It's huge because I know he's really found his stride because he's like, oh, I'm like that 20. It's like, what was the guy that we had here that we drafted and we wanted to get the kid from Clemson, Isaiah Simmons. We didn't pick him, but we got.
He played for the Commanders. This is gonna. I can see his face. Oh, Eugene.
Man, it's going.
I know exactly, and I know the.
Oh my goodness, he played safety / linebacker 3-4 years ago. He was one of the top draft picks at that time. And we didn't know whether we were going to use him at safety or at linebacker, and we used them all over the place. And
Jeremy Chin.
That's what Trayvon Morgan reminds me of.
Yeah.
The fact that when we used Jeremy Chin, he was all over the place.
Yeah.
And he just made plays. That's what I think that Morgan's getting to.
And Isaiah Simmons?
Yeah, and he's on our team too.
He's back on the team.
He's back on the team.
We got a lot more Panthers wild card weekend. We're excited. We're hyped. Look, we've gotten word, Eugene, before we go to break. They can hear us in the newsroom, and I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care. All right, we're going to break.
Baby, we about to turn up in this place right now.
We'll be right back in just 2 minutes. And we're back here on Panthers on the Plus, a.k.a. the Ball Brothers Panthers Preview. Wild Card Weekend is here, Eugene. We're excited. One thing I'm not excited about is seeing those Rams running back. Blake Corum, Kyron Williams. I mean, they absolutely went to work in Week 13.
They can run. They have a really good running game, whether they're running zone stretch plays. They can run a toss play. They were able to get on outside. They did an amazing job. Now, I thought that our edges weren't cool. What I mean by the edge is that you have somebody on the edge, linebackers, sometimes a safety, that forcing that ball back inside because they were able to get on the outside. When they get on the outside, you make the other players who are inside of you, you always make them chase the ball. So that's why we always tell corners, hey, you're the last person on the line. You force that ball back inside because if they get outside of you, that means 10 people are chasing the ball. All right, so you want to make sure that you force that ball back into the middle. I didn't think we did a good job of that.
No.
I thought that that was one of the things that we didn't take care of was the edge control. And moving forward at this game, I bet you the edge control is going to be a thing. It's going to be a thing. And probably we drop down into a little bit of an 8-man front.
It's like they had Moses on their team, and he just parted the sea, and they just ran right through it. I'm like, what's going on?
And those backs are so good, capable running backs. They're really good running backs. So you give them a rock, they can take it to the house.
Oh my,
Either one of them, Williams or Corum, they can take it to the house. And so they have a really good running game, no doubt. But I thought that we didn't do ourselves justice because I thought that our BCR, bootleg, contain, and reverse, that edge control that you need to do to force it back into the middle, I thought that we were lacking.
Safety play. I know we talked a lot about Morik and his effectiveness, but it seemed like Devontae Adams, Puka Nacua were able to get wide open in the middle of the field at times. And it will be times where it's third down and long, and they're wide open. What did you see out there?
So when we go into a zone defense, what becomes problematic is because with the drops of the linebackers,
I hate the zone, by the way.
Yeah, I know. You got to pick your poison. And so, with the drop of the linebackers, sometimes the linebackers don't get enough depth.
Okay.
Roseboom, this past game against Tampa, he drops back really deep one time, picks off a deep end about 18 yards. But typically he's like 4 yards. He's not dropping that no 16 yards. He does dropping that 12 yards. 10 yards. So a lot of that zone stuff that we're talking about finding that zone is because of that space behind the linebackers. And then the other thing is, if you're in zone with Matthew Stafford, he's going to eat you up, dude. He's sitting back there waiting for it because the routes are designed for them to clear areas. So he's sitting there waiting, and he's going to throw people open. So it's very, very tough. That's why I'm a much more of a fan of man-to-man, but you can't go man-to-man every single time. You just can't.
What does it do? Carolina's a young team, and we have a lot of young starters. First playoff appearance for a lot of those guys. against a veteran group. Matthew Stafford has won a Super Bowl. Sean McVay has made, I think he's been to 3 Super Bowls, actually. No, 2 Super Bowls. 2 Super Bowls. Lost one, won one. But that's just a group who has playoff experience. So when you're a young team and you come across a veteran group like that, what's the mindset? What's the preparation?
So it's really kind of hard because you want everybody to have playoff experience or Super Bowl experience.
Yeah.
And first of all, you want to see it from your coaching staff. Mm-hmm. Why do you want to see it from your coaching staff? Because they kind of know what is expected in the playoffs, and for that, with Coach Canales, we're thankful to have a coach who's been involved in that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whether it was Seattle or whether it was Tampa.
Yeah.
He was rolling and rolling hard. Yeah. So he kind of knows scheduling, administration, all that type of stuff. Now the football is the football. That's down. That's something that you know. But some of the other stuff that you may not know, what I'm talking about, the administration of, things happen earlier, or your schedules change. You're doing this earlier, this is later, or you got to walk through here. All those things may change, and it may disrupt your timing of things. And then just the hype of the game. Yeah. The hype of the game is something too, because everybody's talking about it. Those players can't go anywhere without people talking about the Carolina Panthers.
And it's a home game.
Yeah, and then
it's a home game.
And all the guys who are really big guys, they stick out like sore thumbs. So they're like this. Hey man, he got to be a Panther. Even if they don't know he's a Panther, they're gonna say he has to be a Panther player. Yeah. From that standpoint, so that's different from a normal game throughout the week, because everybody's not clamoring over a normal game. Yeah. But this game, they are clamoring over, and that adds some excitement, some nerves, all that stuff that you got to get used to and get it calmed down, because this is just another football game.
Look, I got my eye on Canales because he's been getting a lot of criticism, as he should, because play calling hasn't been the greatest, in my opinion.
Gotcha.
You may differ on this.
I differ with you, but go ahead.
Okay, I don't think the play calling has been great. Let's take Tampa off the table, right? Because that was a sloppy game. Last month, it's just felt disjointed. We haven't been able. He's not sticking to the run game. I see Rico. He might pop off a 7-yard run. I just feel like there's no chemistry with Bryce and Canales the last month of the season. I'm a firm believer.
Can I use the same analogy I just used?
Go ahead.
I would have used the same analogy what I just used. So when we were talking about Matthew Stafford, and we were talking about, people say he threw some interceptions. I'm like, no, he didn't throw interceptions. The other team made him throw interceptions, and they were in great position. The same thing is true. Coach Canales has drawn up some really nice runs. Yeah. Dude, I've been a part of 8-man front. Dude, you ain't going nowhere, dude.
And so am I being irrational for saying that?
Yeah, well, here it is, because I'm just saying for you, it's like the 8-man front. Now, how you combat that? You put 2 tight ends on the line of scrimmage, right? So now you got your 5, and you got 7 dudes on the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Now, that's one way that you combat it. Yeah. So now you have to spread the gaps out a little bit. Yeah. And now the running back is responsible for one dude. He has to make a miss. So you go to double tight ends, and then if you do play action off that double tight ends, you got bootlegs, and then you got maybe, we call these deep over plays that you can go ahead and do. So you got some plays that you can go ahead and do, right? But when the defense says, we're not going to let you run, they do this. We're going to put everybody up here because you can't pass. Yeah. Now, Coach Canales has been a victim of, dude, they got everybody up here. Now, what they didn't do, which I would say, is when he dropped back to pass, we saw only sometimes lately 4-man rush. Yeah. So that means that I want to see 5-6 men, because 4 people shouldn't be getting there, collapsing the pocket. Right. Because you got another guy who can help, and plus you got a tight end who can go ahead and chip off. And so from that standpoint, I'm going, dude, well, all right, we got 4-man rush. Four people shouldn't be getting there. Yeah. That ball should be coming out, and we should have more yards in the passing game. I would go with that. But the run, dude, they decided they were not going to let Rico Dowdle do what he's been doing, which is just eating folks up. And he was killing them. So every team is coming here saying, well, you ain't going to run. And we know how we stop a run? 8-man front. Yeah. We'll get 8 men. And sometimes we'll drop 9 dudes down there, and we get them in the gap, go like this. Okay, go, run.
And you can't go nowhere. And
You can't go nowhere.
And look, I get it.
No double teams, none of that stuff don't work. You got to go man to man.
I think as a fan, I have to be super critical of every aspect. I can't just, for me as a fan.
Yeah. So I was on the same thing with Coach Canal. I was like, hey, what can you do? He said, I got to go ahead and be able to call more play actions. I got to be able to call. And I'm sitting there going like this. Yes, because I know, and everybody else knows that when you got it stacked against you, you're not running anywhere.
Yeah,
you're not going to run anywhere. All the gaps are taken.
With that being said, you talk about the offensive line. You mentioned the offensive line. Rob Hunt maybe coming back with that Ray Lewis. You remember?
Yeah, I know.
That thing. Rob Hunt, also Turk Wharton coming back. Potentially.
I think that would be outstanding because Turk was playing extremely well. And I thought that he was one of the missing ingredients.
Yeah.
I thought that. Now, don't forget Bobby Brown, but he had maybe a concussion last year.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to play.
I don't know if he's going to be in concussion protocol or not. I would love to see Turk get back there because there was something about he and Derek Brown that was just kind of magical.
They played well together.
They played extremely well. And I thought that he was one of those lifts that we needed in that and on that defense. And don't forget, because I've been really critical of the linebackers for the most part.
Yeah.
Like
understandably so, yeah.
And I'm like critical of the linebackers. I'm like, because I'm used to a Thomas Davis. I'm used to a Luke. And it's unfair to those guys. However, as I say that, I think we've kind of we've come around a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that's because of the defensive front and how we are deploying people as being a little bit more cohesive and stopping people. Because I think last couple of games, we've been stellar in defense, and we've been really, really good.
Before we go to break.
Very good on defense.
X Factor, XL. This could be an XL breakout game.
It could definitely be
because
that.
He's been quiet. I forgot he was on the team. I stopped putting him on the
Because
rundown.
guess where you've been hearing Jalen Coker's name? That's why you've been hearing Jalen Coker and T-Mac.
Or XL's just not. They I don't think they believe in XL.
No, I don't think they say that they don't believe in XL because when you get to this juncture, all hands are on deck. So every hand is on deck. Yeah. I think that the fact that Coker, I like him.
I like Coker a lot.
Because, so if I'm Coach Canales, I gotta feed this dude, man.
Yeah.
I gotta feed him, dude.
He's getting open. He's making catches.
He's making catches, dude. I gotta feed him.
He made a heck of a catch against the Bucs.
Dude, the dude is just making catches. So I can't give everybody the ball.
Yeah.
And so somebody's gonna get less numbers. And guess what? XL's getting less numbers because Jalen Coker, in my opinion, has stepped up. He stepped up huge, big time.
I get that, but when Jimmy Horn is getting more touches than you and you're the number 2 receiver.
Well, here it is. I would love Jeremy home, and I was lobbying this for Coach Canales the other day. Hey, throw that ball deep to that
go.
Throw that rock deep.
I'm waiting for Jimmy Horn to just
rock
go.
Deep. That dude he's like Ted Ginn. Yeah. For the Panther fans who don't know what I'm talking about, you remember the speed of Ted Ginn getting behind the defense. Every safety doesn't like the fact that somebody gets behind you with speed. No defensive coordinator likes that because if you just throw the ball down there, it's a 50-50 ball, and they're good enough to go ahead and take a lowly play and make it a huge play. Yeah. And so just because of their speed. So why not, Coach Canales? Why not?
Oh, man.
Just let it eat. Let old boy just run. I would have at least 2 go routes in the first period. Yeah. In the second period, I'll have at least 8 go routes that young man is running.
Oh, for sure.
And post and variations off the go route.
For the kids, go on YouTube, search Ted Ginn. I remember Ohio State Ted Ginn. So if you want to go to Ohio State, Panthers Ted Ginn, Saints Ted Ginn, Miami Dolphins Ted Ginn, all the Ted Ginns in the world. Ted Ginn Jr., by the way, because there's a senior. Let's go to break. We'll be back here shortly. More Panthers on the Plus. All right, welcome back here on Panthers on the Plus, a.k.a. the Ball Brothers Panthers preview wild card weekend. I want to get to this, Eugene. This wasn't on the rundown, but I want to ask. Take us back. Your first playoff game. What do you remember?
Wow, my first playoff game was actually in Seattle. That was a long time ago. Let me go to my playoff game with the Green Bay Packers because I wasn't used to all those people screaming and yelling and whatnot. I'm like, oh my goodness, right? And they're yelling for you, but there was such a heightened awareness and just love that I was like, wow, I'm in the playoffs and I'm sitting like this, I can't mess up because I'm the free safety. If the lineman messes up, guess what? You got a linebacker behind him, and you got some corners and safeties behind him. If the linebacker mess up, you got the corners and the safety behind him. But if the safety messes up, there ain't nobody behind you.
Except for the fans.
And some of the fans, and those goalposts. And so I was like, wow, I got to make sure I'm doing my job. So I would study extra. I would make sure that, okay, dot the I's, cross the T's, make sure they come out in this formation, this is what they like. Okay, where the vulnerable spots? And so because I was thinking like that, I was just ready. I stayed ready. And when we were balling in Green Bay, man, they would start hitting them drums and playing that song and go Pack, go, all that stuff. I mean, it was electric.
And it was cold.
It was cold, but you know what? You didn't even feel the cold. I didn't even think about the cold.
Did you have the Tiger Bomb?
I ain't had a Tiger Bomb, nothing. I just didn't think about the cold because when you're winning, everything feels good. But when you're losing, I was thinking about the cold.
Oh, man.
It was cold out there because you could tell if you're losing or not.
Eugene Robinson, he's going to be at Bank of America Stadium.
Yeah, absolutely.
On Saturday. I'll be there in spirit. Eugene still hasn't hooked me up with some
tickets.
tickets.
But everybody come on out, 4:30, man. And right now, they got a Panther tour going on with the drum.
Yeah.
The drum, the Keep Pounding drum is going throughout different places here in the city.
Yeah.
Thursday after tonight, they're going to be at Clutch, but they're going to be all out at the Ballantine Bowl. So make sure fans get a chance to go ahead and hit the drum and be a part of the Keep Pounding thing and keep pounding.
Man, I love it, man. And Cam Newton is going to be.
I don't know. Possibly. That's the rumor. That's what I'm saying.
That's the report.
That's the report.
This is the report. Hey,
I'm looking for Cam Newton somewhere.
According to Eugene Robinson, Cam Newton may be.
Man, I said may.
I'm not going to put that. I saw it on Bleacher Report. I saw some other. I saw outsourced there. We'll be back. Win, lose, or draw next week. We'll be back. Panthers on the Plus.
Dude, Panthers, we'll be back, dog.
We'll be back. All right, man. Y'all stay good.
Let's take this window.
Keep pounding.
We're looking for a win.
We're looking for a win. We'll see you next week.